The secret of 2 hours each night, the habit that changed a poor girl's life. This is the story of a girl who once believed her life had already been decided for her. A job that paid just enough to get by, a small rented room, a future that was faint but safe. She wasn't failing, but she wasn't moving forward either. Then, within 90 days, everything began to change. Not because she quit her job, not because she got lucky, but because each day she reclaimed 2 hours she used to waste. Those 2 hours opened a door she had never believed she was capable of walking through. And by the time you finish this story, you may look at the way you use your time in a completely different way. Before we begin, let me ask you something. When are you listening to this video? Where are you from? Leave a comment below and let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Linh was not a failure. She had a stable job. Every morning she woke up on time, got ready, went to the office, and completed her tasks responsibly. She never missed deadlines. She didn't make excuses. She didn't complain much. From the outside, her life looked perfectly fine, but only Linh knew how it felt on the inside. It felt like drifting. Each day looked exactly like the one before. The responses she gave to customers were nearly identical. The problems that came up were the same ones over and over again. Over time, she handled them faster, but that didn't increase her value. She simply became more efficient at keeping things from falling apart, and that was what scared her. She began to realize a quiet truth. She was spending all her energy maintaining the present, not building a future. She was busy from morning to night, but that busyness wasn't bringing her any closer to a better version of herself. Linh wasn't lacking hard work. She was lacking growth. She lacked a block of time that truly belonged to her. Time when she wasn't reacting to other people's demands, but intentionally investing in her own abilities. The most painful part wasn't the low income. It was the feeling that she could be replaced at any time. When the company started talking about automation, chatbots, and cost optimization, Linh understood something very clearly. The skills she used every day were not rare. And skills that aren't rare aren't protected. She wasn't falling behind because she was lazy. She was stuck because she had been living in survival mode for too long. Survival mode forces you to focus on getting through today, but survival is never enough to create a different tomorrow. And on rare quiet evenings when the city grew less noisy, she would ask herself a question she had avoided for years. If I keep living like this, where will I be in 5 years? There was no answer, only a spreading sense of emptiness. And sometimes that feeling is the true beginning of change. Major change rarely starts with motivation. It starts with a jolt, strong enough that you can no longer pretend everything is fine. For Linh, that jolt came on an ordinary afternoon. The company announced a reduction in part of the customer service team because a new automated system had performed better than expected. The list of layoffs was sent via internal email. Linh opened it with her heart beating slightly faster, then exhaled when she didn't see her name. But 2 colleagues sitting next to her were on the list. They silently packed their desks. No tears, no drama, just cardboard boxes and empty eyes. For the first time, Linh didn't see it as someone else's story. She saw her own near future. She realized something that sent a chill through her. Her job wasn't bad, but it wasn't safe. The stability she had trusted was fragile. That evening, when she returned to her rented room, she didn't turn on the lights right away. She sat on the edge of her bed in the dark. Not because she had lost her job, but because she realized she had no backup plan. She had never prepared for the possibility of being replaced. She had only hoped she wouldn't be next. Hope is not a strategy. And that was the moment Linh understood. The problem wasn't the company. It wasn't technology. It wasn't the market. The problem was that for too long, she had not invested in herself beyond the limits of her current job. She called her cousin, someone who had once started at a lower position than Linh, but had now moved far ahead. When her cousin explained that she dedicated 2 hours every day to learning and upgrading her skills, Linh didn't hear a magical secret. She heard a simple truth. Change doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from small choices repeated consistently. That night, for the first time, Linh didn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" She asked, "If I don't change starting today, how many more times will I have to feel this fear?" And that question opened a door she had never dared to step through before. After that moment of fear, Linh understood that if she relied only on emotion, everything would soon return to normal. Fear can make you start. Only systems make you continue. She didn't choose a vague goal like become better or earn more money. She made a specific commitment, 2 hours every day dedicated solely to upgrading herself. Not when she felt free, not when she felt inspired, but at a fixed time, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. She called it her golden 2 hours. Because if she didn't name it, it would easily be swallowed by exhaustion, phone notifications, or just one more episode. Lynn understood something important. Time doesn't appear on its own. It must be protected. The first hour was for structured learning, not random videos, not skimming articles. She chose a clear path in data analysis and business thinking skills. She wrote down every concept. When she didn't understand something, she stopped until she did. No rushing. The second hour was for practice and reflection. She used the problems from her daily work as raw material. She asked herself, if I were the decision maker, what would I want to know from these numbers? She began to see data not just as statistics, but as stories hidden beneath the surface. Those 2 hours weren't loud. No one praised her. No one even knew what she was doing. But in that quiet, something profound was happening. She shifted from reacting to acting. During the day, she still answered messages and handled complaints. But at night, she learned to understand the systems that created those complaints. The difference was perspective. And that new perspective slowly changed how she saw herself. She no longer thought, I'm just a customer service employee. She began to think, I'm learning to become a higher-level problem solver. She set 3 simple rules. Never skip a day, don't bring her phone to the desk, and get enough sleep so tomorrow wouldn't collapse. The simplicity made the system sustainable. The first week, she forced herself to sit down. The second week, she resisted less. By the third week, the 2 hours became part of her rhythm. After 30 days, what changed wasn't just her knowledge. It was her sense of control. She no longer waited for the company to decide her future. She began laying the foundation for her own path. And for the first time in a long while, she no longer felt like she was drifting. 2 hours a day didn't turn her into an expert overnight. But it did something more important. It transformed her from someone anxious about tomorrow into someone preparing for it.
Final draft.
And that difference cannot be taken away. Lynn's transformation didn't arrive in a dramatic breakthrough. It came quietly, almost unnoticed. In the first 30 days, the only visible results were thicker notebooks and spreadsheets full of mistakes. No praise, no obvious advancement, just repetition. But repetition does what motivation never can. It rebuilds identity. By the second month, Lynn no longer had to force herself to sit at her desk at 8 p.m. She felt something was missing if she skipped her golden 2 hours. Instead of seeing it as an obligation, she saw it as time invested in herself. She noticed a subtle shift in how she viewed her daytime work. When customers complained about late deliveries, she didn't just apologize and process the issue. She asked, what percentage of orders face this problem? Is it concentrated in a specific region? Does it increase seasonally? She no longer just solved problems. She analyzed their causes. After 60 days, she did something she had never dared to imagine before. She compiled complaint data from the past 3 months and built a simple report using what she had learned. No one asked her to. No one assigned it. She simply felt that if she had learned something, she had to apply it. When she emailed the department head, her hands trembled slightly. She wasn't sure if she was overstepping her role, but deep down, she understood that if she waited for recognition before taking action, she would stay in the same position forever. The meeting was shorter than she expected. There were questions she couldn't fully answer. There were gaps she had to admit. But the important thing wasn't a perfect report. It was that for the first time, she walked into a meeting not as an executor, but as a proposer. On the 87th day since she began her golden 2 hours, she was offered a transfer to the analytics team. No fireworks, no drama, just a door opening, because she was already standing in front of it. The most profound change over those 90 days wasn't the new title or the salary increase. It was that Lynn no longer saw herself as replaceable. She understood that her value was no longer limited to answering quickly or handling situations smoothly. Her value lay in her ability to see one step ahead. 90 days didn't turn her into a completely different person, but it proved something essential. When you change how you use your time, you change the trajectory of your life. And a trajectory, even if it shifts just slightly each day, after 1 year leads to a completely different destination. Lynn's story is not about a new job. It's not about a raise. It's about the moment someone decides to stop living in waiting mode, waiting for opportunities, waiting for recognition, waiting for better circumstances. Lynn once believed safety came from holding tightly to her current position.
Do what you can.
After 90 days, she understood something deeper. Real security comes from the ability to make yourself valuable anywhere. What changed her life wasn't simply 2 hours each night. It was that she stopped handing her entire future over to others. Each of us has an invisible block of time in the day. Maybe early morning, maybe late evening, maybe an hour before everyone wakes up, or an hour after the world grows quiet. The question isn't what time you choose. The question is, do you choose yourself during that time? If you don't intentionally build valuable skills, the world will keep moving without you. Technology will evolve, markets will shift, opportunities will go to those who are prepared. And when the moment comes, the difference between the ready and the regretful won't be luck. It will be the quiet hours of learning no one saw. 3 months sounds long, but 3 months will pass whether you act or not. The real question is, what will those 3 months leave behind? A list of shows you've watched, or a new skill formed, an old version of yourself repeating, or a stronger version beginning to emerge. You don't need to change your entire life in one day. You only need to change how you use a small part of today. Ask yourself one simple question. If I dedicate 2 hours a day for the next 90 days to building a valuable skill, will my life still look the same? You may not see results immediately, but one thing is certain, you won't feel as powerless as before. Tonight, before you sleep, choose your time block. Write down one specific skill you will pursue. Don't choose too many, just one, and commit to it like an appointment you cannot cancel. If this story made you think, if you feel like you're standing at a crossroads the way Linh once did, give yourself a chance. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, real journeys of ordinary people changing the trajectory of their lives step by step, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Not for more motivation, but to remind yourself that change is real when you are persistent enough. 3 months from now, you'll look back at today and you'll know what you chose.